The aftermath is secondary. It's time to do it now and do it loud. Killjoys, make some noise.
Hello everyone. So looking at the First Amendment, one of the United States' founding principles is the ability for the people to come together and tell their country, I don't support your policy on this issue, or I don't believe that my leaders are doing a good job managing the country. In the US, activism has been going on for years, and it is founded on it. During the American Revolution, people boycotted British goods and performed the famous Boston Tea Party, where people dumped the British tea into the ocean. People have been performing activism in the United States literally before the United States. Now, in the modern day, in the online media-focused 21st century, activism is still relevant. The difference between political parties has been widening. The amount of shared policies and ideas has been more diverse and more extreme on their sides of the political spectrum. People's ideologies are being more centered around more extreme left-wing or right-wing ideals rather than moderate or centered. There are many reasons for political polarization. One popular reason is that social media is intensifying polarization. According to multiple sources, such as the Associated Press and Brookings.edu, Meta's algorithms on Instagram and Facebook are pushing content farther and farther into more extremes of the political spectrum. Some other reasons for political polarization include news stations and social networks, but inevitably, people are going to disagree with people in the government and will be angry with the other side. Political polarization is just what is going to keep activism to be needed more and more. But note that activism is needed for society to continue progressing and getting better. However, in this age, political polarization creates more tension between both sides, and the string that holds our society together will break, making protests and riots bound to happen. Although some may believe modern movements don't work, let's look at some of the most recent and large movements: the BLM movement and the #MeToo movement. The BLM movement helped pass and introduce many legislative changes throughout the country. These laws include bans or restrictions on chokeholds, restrictions on the use of shooting at fleeing suspects, restrictions on the use of weapons during protests or arrests, clarifications or changes to police use of force policy, and require any use of force to be reported to the state or reported to the federal government. The #MeToo movement has also helped to get about half of the states to pass legislation that includes requiring anti-harassment training, limiting non-disclosure agreements, protecting people who speak up from defamation lawsuits, protecting more workers, and more. And on the federal level, President Joe Biden signed a bill called the Ending Forced Arbitration of Sexual Assault Act on March 3, 2022, which gives employees the ability to bring charges of sexual harassment or assault to court instead of arbitration.
Now the wall. Okay.
Although police brutality, systemic racism, or workplace sexual harassment of women still happen, with over 1,000 people killed per year by police since 2020, according to Statista.com and PoliceViolenceReport.org, and over 6,000 sexual harassment charges in fiscal year 2020 and 5,500 charges in 2021, even through the peak of the pandemic, according to the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Especially with the killing of Sonia Massey in the summer of 2024, we need to stay strong and realize that results and changes occur over time. We need to remember the victims of the world's issues and fight in their name. History has shown that activism has worked. There have been movements in the past century that show the importance and success of protesting. Clearly, from the country's biggest movements, patience is needed. As the civil rights movement started in the mid-1950s and ended in 1964 when the civil rights movement was passed, women's suffrage really took off in 1848 with the Seneca Falls Convention, and throughout the century, it ultimately led to women being able to vote in 1920. Anti-war protests to Vietnam started in 1965 to 1973 when the U.S. backed
in
out.
12 years, no American military forces are in Vietnam.
It will take years of protests for change to happen, but inevitably, change is made and the world gets a bit better.
We have read from the bench there is a right to marriage equality.
During these times of activism, youth have been the ones who lead and are the face of calls for movements such as the aforementioned the Vietnam War. Colleges and universities for years protested the Vietnam War. Even during the anti-war protests towards the Vietnam War, most of those college students were under the legal voting age at the time, 21. The East LA school walkouts, fighting for equality in public school education. Their lives are affected the same as anyone else, but they had no choice in democracy or issues that affect their lives. Once again, at the start of this administration, people and youth are angry, like how there were people angry at the start of the last administration. People are growing angrier and angrier, and the want for reform is growing higher and higher. With this greater polarization, more than ever, youth will want change. However, how do we, who most have never experienced any form of activism, start? Before you want to support an issue, think about what message do you want to send to your government, politicians, and community. Research about your issue from sources that have reputations for being factual and become knowledgeable in it. If someone were to ask you about why you are fighting for a cause, knowing about it and informing people about an issue is a way you can be an activist. From here, everything depends on how much time you have. After researching an issue you are passionate about and know how to argue for it, there are many things you can do to be an activist and help make the world how you believe it should be. If you don't have much means of time, transportation, or limited freedoms, the biggest things you can do as an activist is committing to everyday activism, where you change tiny parts of your life to support your cause, following current events, being informed, and knowing what's happening surrounding an issue, whether it's legislative activity, or events like demonstrations or town halls going on in your area can help you be smarter in the area you're passionate about. You can also repost and share things like articles, news, petitions, and social media posts online to bring awareness and information to people. Boycotting corporations that do not support your ideals or invest in organizations you do not support can also help. You can also contact your local representative in the government. These may all seem like they don't have an effect, but your voice and your money actually do matter. For example, contacting your representative actually works. One of a politician's main goals is to obviously get reelected. And if a large number of a politician's constituents are calling for something, it's likely he'll give in to the pressure. So whenever you get the chance, inform people. Tell them how these issues will affect them and what they can do to help support a cause. If there are times when you have whole days with no schedule, there are several things you can do. You can attend a number of events. You can go to town halls, protests, meet people who support the same issues as you, or volunteer for activist organizations. Through those online groups I mentioned, one of the biggest national youth-led activist organizations is the Alliance for Youth Action, which has organizations in 17 states. There are also many organizations outside that alliance, and feel free to search them up. There are many ways to participate in activism for not just youth, but anyone. If you're upset about how the world is, you can fight it. Change can happen in our lifetime, as long as we stay truly committed and disciplined in our own beliefs and ideals. The world didn't just start switching from monarchies to democracies and republics, and women's suffrage rights throughout the world didn't randomly change in the 20th century. People called for it more and more, and the world embraced it. And now, it's our turn.